welcome to the official Leverage Redemption After Show,
a very distinctive podcast. I'm Felicia Michelle.
I am Yell Teagle, and it's season 3.
I know, but wait, before we get to that, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've already been.
Yeah, so before we show you all of the sneak peeks about season 3, let's reflect back on the first 2 seasons of Leverage Redemption.
We fix things. We stop bad guys, nobody stops.
And today, we have the honor, the privilege of conning
the scum of the scum.
If somebody has not seen Leverage Redemption, which is unheard of, but whatever, if they hadn't seen it, how would you describe the show, and what would you tell them they need to know going into it?
I usually describe it as a Robin Hood show because most people understand what that is. You know, bad guys that are stealing from the rich to give to the poor, criminals that are doing good things on behalf of underdogs, kind of A-team-ish. And then I talk about how it's something you can watch with your kids and your parents.
Hey, you're just in time. Turn it up. Turn it up.
People who are just tuning in, you just have to know that this is a fun ride, and these characters love each other. They're like a dysfunctional family. And there's twists and turns, there's cons, there's humor, there's grief and loss, and a lot of times we get to play with huge stakes, and then the really grounded, heartfelt moments are also there. So it's a show you can kind of pick up and watch at any point. Every story's, isolated, but the emotional work of our family has been going for a long time, and they can always go back and watch other episodes if they want to, but they don't have to. Yeah.
They should. They absolutely should.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say other than I'm very flattered and I'm very interested in your offer.
This show, if you've never seen it, it's Ocean's 11 every week, except we do it in 45 minutes instead of 2 hours. And we've done 120 of them.
Yeah,
So we're on Ocean's 120. It's that smart. It's that much of a con. People don't understand the process. The process is something bad happens. We find out about it. We do a con. It usually goes wrong, so we have to switch on the fly, and then we win and we wrap it up. And that is tough to do, as a writer. And nothing's ever the same, So once we burn something, it's gone. So to come up with that many ideas and be on television as long as we have, it's really a testament to the writers' room and the creatives on this, man. And it's so much fun to get a script every week and see what we're doing.
I was gonna say something actually kind of really highbrow. It's okay, I'll say it. They need to know about themselves, because if they're looking in the right place, they will find a section of themselves, whether you see it in Elliot, Parker, Hardison, myself, Mr. Wiley, Sophie. I know it can be funny, I know it can be a little campy, I know it can be a couple inches off the ground. But if you allow yourself to take a step back, you can be like, oh, I'm this person, or oh, I'm that person. And that's all you need. That's all you need to watch the show, is just look out for yourself. And once you relate to a character, you're set, you're golden. You can watch every single episode.
It's not a show. It's a movement. It's a first stop for every woman on her way to world domination.
So I think what the beauty of the show as well is that you can dip into any episode, that they're all standalone episodes, and you don't really need a reference point. And I think what we've noticed through the years, they don't have to know the relationships, they don't have to know the characters' histories, but they become intrigued enough that they want to go back and find out more. That's what makes the series special, because I know we're always saying to each other, hey, what are you watching? I want a new show. And then you think, oh, I can't watch 5 seasons of something, or I can't.
Yes.
But I think the beauty of Leverage is you can jump into season 3 of Leverage Redemption and then be intrigued enough to actually go, hey, how did these relationships form? And go back to the beginning, hopefully.
It's binge-worthy. If you don't know, I'm telling you, it's binge-worthy.
Okay, let's take it back to the end of season 2. Where did we wrap up?
I think we left Harry at the end of season 1 with a little bit of indecision about whether he was going to be a permanent member of the team. I think I'm done.
What? Well, you just learned to hack. You're not bad.
Yeah, you're not a thief, but you're thievish.
And I think last year we kind of settled that question, and now he's kind of in it.
You're part of the team, Harry. So stop being so wishy-washy.
Part of the team.
Where do we pick up season 3 for Harry?
Kind of where we left off. He's still practicing law and still being a functioning member of the Leverage team. This year, I feel he's really getting more comfortable with the con clothes and the accents. He's really leaning into the role-playing aspect of Leverage HQ stuff.
Do you think that it was the Lumberduke that really got him to accept that this is where he belonged?
Loves to be alone in nature, amongst the trees, with the wolves and the hogs, away from the world.
I think it was audience's reaction to the Lumberduke that made the actor who plays Harry really want to lean into that a little bit more. That's what. Yeah.
What makes season 3 more unique or special than the previous seasons?
John Rogers returning to the show, I think, would be the biggest difference. John being one of the original creators of the show, the original show with Chris Downey, just brings a certain voice and expertise to this show that very few people can match. His sense of humor and his sense of pacing and his understanding of the characters and the world is really phenomenal. It's just great to have him back.
I am sitting down with co-creator John Rogers, who is showrunning this season, to talk about season 3. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm so excited.
I cannot believe we're doing this. This
Another
is very
season.
cool. Another season, improbably.
Let's take it back. Where did we finish off last season?
At the end of last season, basically we wrapped with the idea that Sophie had kind of come to terms with her legacy and had reconnected with her stepdaughter, Astrid. We had established way back in the original series that she had done a royalty con that had gone very badly. And it was very cool that we were trying to figure out some way to look at her past. And I said, we've always left that as a hanging plot line. And so being able to dig into it and actually pull it up and say, no, this was the seminal moment in her life was great. And, I think we left Hardison in a satellite.
Hardison, when are you getting back to Earth?
Yeah, about that. So, little situation. I talked to the guys who sent me up here. Pretty sure they forgot about me. They said they can't launch a rocket for rendezvous for about another 2 months.
The team had sort of worked through a lot of interpersonal stuff. Elliot had reconciled with his father, and we discovered it was not because he had a difficult relationship with his father, is that he had looked up to his father so much and had come to think so poorly of himself because of his criminal career and the things he did before he joined Leverage that he couldn't really face him and because of his military career hadn't been at his mother's funeral. And so it was a very sort of Sophie and Elliot focused season and kind of clearing up a lot of, every year you don't know if you're coming back and you kind of want to make sure you land stuff that's important to you.
I like that you didn't know if you're coming back, but you're going to leave Hardison in space.
We're not going to leave him in space. We're going to get him. You're going to get him. If we had never come back, then you would have known and that often there would have been a million fics on Tumblr. It would have been fine on Archive of Our Own. They would have gotten him down. It would have been all okay.
So, I was thinking, y'all could come get me.
How challenging is it to come into a third season and have to, see what the changes are, or an 8th season?
Yeah, it is challenging, but if you've written characters well and you've done interesting things with them every year, the changes are the natural result of what you've done with them. What we do with Hardison is a natural result of the growth we've given him. What we do with Parker is kind of the natural result of clues that we've dropped over the 8 seasons that, I wanted to address this season. You've probably, if you've seen the season, Parker's very heavily featured this year and some kind of emotionally wrenching stuff. And so it was very much, this is stuff we want to explore about our own feelings, the writing room and the viewers' feelings about how the world is now. So, the world is always changing. The character's always changing. Good results come out of the changing of the characters. Bad stories come out of the changing of the world. And so we always have good fuel.
You sure you want to do this? It's a big job.
What is new and exciting this season?
There's some really great, I don't want to say green screen work, but I think it's really interesting. We have started to figure out how to use the technology we have to give us some real interesting scope and action sequences to really broaden out the feeling of where we're shooting and how we're shooting.
Wow. We have some guest stars this season.
Yes, we have some amazing guest stars.
And some returning characters.
We do.
Talk to me about some of the returning characters if we can.
Well, Hurley's coming back because we've seen him in the trailer, the upcoming. There's some other people coming back. They're very cool. And we're going to hold that back from you so that you can have the delight of the reveal.
Wow.
Big secrets for season 3.
Should we tell them?
Sure, why not?
Let's let the cast tell them.
What's up, Leverage Redemption fans? I am here with Aleyse Shannon again, season 3. I'm super pumped for season 3. I'm ready to go. You ready?
No.
No.
I'm joking. No, stoked to be here.
Let's talk about where Brianna left off in season 2.
Season 2, we found Brianna getting a lot more comfortable in herself. We were singing.
I don't believe in fairy tales, least what the old ones say.
We were doing a whole bunch of things. Brianna was
Falling
out.
in love.
Falling in love. But Brianna was out on the con quite a bit, and I think it reflected the comfort, the place that she was finding in and of herself, and season 3 is a build on that, but also coming around. She has boots on the ground. She's the best at what she does now. There's no more big brother shoes to fill sort of deal. There's a certainty that I'm really appreciating about her.
Okay, so what makes season 3 very unique and special for you?
This is my first series regular job. This is the first character that I've had the pleasure of playing for such a long time. So season 3 is uncharted territory for me as an actress, just having that many hours on a character that I love and that I'm still learning and that I'm mirroring as far as how she's growing and how she's becoming comfortable and secure and how I'm growing and becoming comfortable and secure in the cast and in the dynamic. And it is life imitating art, imitating life in that way.
Do you naturally think when you're reading script now, like, oh, this is what she's going to do? Like, not necessarily the words, you know what words you're going to say, but the nonverbals, how her body movements are, what she might do physicality wise.
Yeah, I think that goes into relationships. I think I know the relationships a lot better. I think Brianna knows where she stands a lot better. She knows how to get under Elliot's skin. She knows, where she's connecting with Parker. They have their own language going on. She knows where, Sophie is still, keeping an eye out for her, and she knows where, her and Mr. Wilson as newbies, she knows where they've been and how far they've grown together and separately as two different people in this team. And I think she's just in that pocket and in that groove. And, again, becoming one of the best hackers and, techies that she can be.
And there's also a lot of scenarios that just come from the show that people can relate to, too. These are real life things that are happening to people.
Sure, yeah. Okay, this is actually my spoiler. There is a documentary on and it has to do with somebody taking advantage of a lot of people in a very now kind of present way that given certain technology would not have been the case 15, 20 years ago. And it is like kind of cool that we were able to do that because it's on right now. So you can definitely go watch that on, but also watch ours on Amazon.
And yours will have a happy ending.
Yeah.
There'll be vindication at the end of the
right.
episode.
We're back, baby. Like, we're on Amazon Prime, and we're here for you. We're here because you love us. You make it possible for us to do the jobs that we've always dreamed of doing, and hopefully we can surprise you and make you happy and bring a smile to your face. And I just don't want to let any of that up. I think you guys are going to enjoy it.
Well, no, third time's a charm, so.
Third time's the charm.
We talked to the cast about what's ahead for season 3, and you're not going to believe what they told us.
Hey, Leverage Redemption fans. I am here with Gina Bellman. Gina, I am so happy to see you again, season 3. Third time's a charm, right?
We just keep rolling and rolling every day. Every time we get the phone call, we can't believe our luck.
This is going to be fun.
Last season 2, I had a really big arc with my character, with Sophie, because she was putting a lot of ghosts to bed.
Keep on covering.
I was in the neighborhood. How have you been?
It was a really fun arc to work on, but it was quite emotional. And then she was having to face up to a lot of things from her past with Arthur and the betrayal from way back in her history. And then, of course, as the season developed, we meet her stepdaughter, who she's felt all this guilt about and betrayal. And then we pick up season 3, and it's like a whole new day for Sophie. There's a feeling of lightness in her, and there's romance in the air, possibly. Ooh. She's looking to the future, and it's been fun.
That's a pretty, well, really not pretty, but it's a huge step for her character. Number one, trusting to fall in love or to have those types of feelings again, and then moving on, because we start this series with her in mourning.
Yeah, I think it's baby steps. I maybe falling in love is going a little too far. I think she's just open to being happy again and having fun. So that's been like a really nice journey to take through the previous 2 seasons. And now she's kind of like dipping her toe in, kind of getting a little flirty. It's nice to sort of play that lightness after, as you know, last year was like quite heavy and dark for her.
And also being the leader now is also a weight for her too. So I'm excited to see, I know fans will be excited to see a little more lightness to her.
Yeah, I think it took a while, and they gave me lots of room in the first 2 seasons to kind of feel her way. And like this season, she's like in her stride. It's all happening really fast. She's being her best self.
So what makes this season unique? I guess one of those things is now that energy shift you were talking about.
Well, for me, for my character personally, but I also think what we're looking at this season is a lot of cons that are quite about technology and AI, and it's like such a current topic, and I feel like our villains are more multifaceted. They're not just these archetypal kind of bad guys that you might have started out with in the beginning. When we started the original show, we were taking down, the sort of face of the corporate world, whereas now we're really looking into we're like digging into all these things that affect all of our lives, like on a daily basis, and like the Leverage team is sort of getting in there and kind of digging around, and so it feels very contemporary.
We're here on the set of Leverage Redemption Season 3. I am here with Beth Riesgraf. Hello.
Hello, welcome to the green room.
So where do we pick up Season 3?
Does anyone know what Parker's up to?
Well, there's been a lot of growth. There's a lot of people changing and going through change. Harry's going through some changes with this new lifestyle and the effects it's had on his family. And Sophie's, at the point where she's ready to have growth and be open in a new way with herself and her relationships. And she's sort of thinking about future in a new way. And Hardison is contemplating the why of it all and how. And
You don't want to crime anymore?
I don't like watching someone I care about take punches meant for me.
Elliot and Brianna are also kind of on a journey, but Parker, she really is happy doing what she does. She likes being a support to the team and to the world, but everyone else's change has kind of got her thinking that maybe there's something to contemplate there and think about why and how they work at what they do. And really just she's wondering, why is everybody overthinking this so much?
But Parker, she doesn't like change.
Yeah, no, I don't think she does, but she's gotten to a place where she's understanding that human beings evolve and they go through things. And so...
that person is a person.
Yeah, but she's kind of just taking it in, I think, and realizing the people that she knows and loves are going through a phase of growth, and that's new for her to experience as well.
Every season, I feel like we get more layers to each of the characters. What is unique and special that we can look forward to in Season 3?
What's special about this season is we have an amazing list of guest stars coming in. It's very exciting. We have we have our showrunner, John Rogers, in full effect, which is super cool. We're able to have the writers on set this year, which we haven't really been able to do that in past seasons, so it's been super exciting to be able to collaborate with them on set and dig deeper on character work and character arcs. And in terms of story points, we're taking down a lot of people doing nasty things as usual and really enjoying that. And at the same time, the thing I really think about is, Sophie, it's a big moment for her to kind of feel ready to go out into the world emotionally again. And so all of us are in support of that, but the way that she's exploring that has been kind of fun for all of us, because as a team, we go through those moments together and look out for her. We should move now.
Sophie, let's go. Sophie!
I'm sitting down with our good friend, Christian Kane. We are talking about season 3, but before we jump into everything that's happening with season 3 of Leverage Redemption, I would love to know, where did we leave off season 2?
The last season was really fun for me, and I'll tell you why, because, you know, we got introduced to Elliot's dad, who is played by the great Keith David, who I just talked to yesterday. We still keep in touch. And it was so much fun, because I always said that I based this character off Mr. T and Kurt Russell and Big Trouble in Little China. It's literally a mixture of B.A. Baracus and Jack. And so we started thinking, he goes, what if Mr. T was your dad? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So we thought about it for a long time, and it was kind of an underlying story, you know. That piece of the puzzle was filled for him. And so he left a little stouter, a little taller. He felt there was a piece missing, and then he got it. And I was like, and so my problem was, and I'm going to go into your next question after this question, how did I leave season 2? Feeling pretty good, you know what I mean? And so my problem was, in the off season, was trying to figure out, how are we going to get this cat back to beating some ass? Because, you know, he's kind of happy now. He's trying to make amends with his dad and all that stuff. And so I was like, somebody's got to die. You know, that's not what happens, but obviously. But it's like, I go, something has to make him mad again. And John goes, we'll do some stuff in between and stuff. Because, you know, it's really strange, because Aldous is off and on. I can't really be mad at him unless he's here.
Did you really try the Vulcan Spock thing again? It's gonna work one of these days.
I wouldn't get mad at Aleyse, because, you know, I've made it, even though me and Hardison don't get along, he's still my brother. And it's like, I got to take care of his sister. So I can't get mad at her. The only thing left is Parker. And she doesn't really understand when people get mad at her. So, like, what am I going to do? But it's worked out. And so I picked up on season 3, and they gave me a little bit of stuff, and Elliot's just as pissed off as ever, so it's nice.
Stop with the handshake, man. Then go.
They keep coming up with new and really creative stuff. This season has some really wild stories.
Well, fortunately for us, the world is a very bad place, and so new stories pop up all the time.
Yeah.
Like the one we're doing now, you couldn't have done it 4 years ago. Well, you probably could. You couldn't have done it 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's stuff that we did in the first couple of seasons that doesn't even exist anymore, you know, because they've taken care of it. The world has. And there's stuff, you know, there's 2 or 3 of them that we couldn't have done last year that we're doing this year. So fortunately for us, and unfortunately for everybody else, the world is a very bad place.
Drop me off. This won't take long.
Let's talk about what makes this show special and unique. What makes season 3 special and unique?
What makes season 3 special and unique is it's actually the 8th season.
Right.
And I get to go to work with all my friends for 15 years, you know, including all the way up to producers, to cameramen, to grips, this is all one big family. We all live together, we all fight together, you know, and it's so much fun to be able to carry a character. You know, there's a difference between television and film. And film, you know, you go into it knowing that your character is going to die. Even if he's not going to die, it's still going to end. With this one, we don't see an end, you know what I mean? And so we don't have to kill these characters, and it's like, and it's so much fun to play this stuff and finish each other's sentences, and we all go to dinner. We're not sick of each other. And I'm not talking about just in the season, I'm talking about 8 seasons, 3rd season for Leverage Redemption, but we started this in 2007, and we're still, you know, best of friends. And that, to me, bleeds out onto the television. I think that's why so many people watch the show, is the fact that now, we've even become their family. That's what's special about this show, is not only the camaraderie that we've been able to lay out there in your living room as you're on the couch, but the camaraderie and the love and the friendship that we actually have on set still to this day.
Could you give us a spoiler-free tease of season 3 in one sentence?
Oh, Let me think about this.
The team is back on the con.
It's about time we see Sophie's emotions.
I think the original tagline still sort of rings true, you know, sometimes bad guys make the best good guys.
If you're not careful, we're gonna freeze you to death.
a huge mistake?
And what mistake is that?
You messed with my family.
Where's Parker?
It's the end of the world and it's just a day's work.
Well, we've come a long way and we have plenty more to go. I'm so excited for season 3.
Yeah, we're going to be here every week discussing what is happening in the episode, talking to the cast and crew, giving you behind the scenes sneak peeks.
Yes, and so make sure you join us on social media because we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, we're online at After Leverage, but also here every week on the official Leverage Redemption After Show,
A very distinctive podcast.